Hello and welcome to day 73 of our 2790 series. Today we're going to continue our reading in the letter to the Hebrews, chapters 2, 3, and 4. And in these chapters, the writer, and again writing to Hebrew people, the writer says, be very careful that you don't drift away. Don't go back to old doctrines. Don't believe false teachings that are ahead of you. And don't just simply become apathetic in your faith. And then he presents what is basically the argument of the entire letter, and that is that Jesus Christ is greater than Moses. And he will talk about this over and over and over again, that the intention of the law that was given through Moses was to bring God's people into right relationship with him, to help us to learn what it means to live holy lives separated by God and chosen for his delight and for his glory. But what happened is the law only increased the sin. It only taught us how far away from God we actually are. And so what the law couldn't do, Jesus accomplishes by bringing his Spirit to live within us, to teach us not just about behavior, but about attitude and about our whole selves. And the first example that he uses, that the writer uses to help us understand this, is the example of Sabbath. The law says that you set aside the seventh day so that you can have time with your Maker. You set aside that day to have peace with yourself and to understand to who you are in relationship to your Maker. But it was a law that regulated behavior and didn't really get to the intention behind the law. Jesus consistently, when he talks about the Sabbath, he makes it clear that he's Lord over the Sabbath, that this isn't a day that is set aside. It's not Sunday, and it's not Saturday. In fact, the writer to the Hebrews says that Sabbath is today. Sabbath is when we set aside time to focus on our relationship with God. And that can happen anytime and anywhere. And so the Spirit of the living God fulfills the intention of the law. The intention of Sabbath is to bring us into right relationship with God. The fulfillment of that is we can do that anytime, anywhere. In fact, we can do it today. And we have our theme verse in this, that the Word of God is living and active, sharper than any double-edged sword. It penetrates us to the very core of our existence. Nothing is hidden before the eyes of him to whom we must give an account. And the Word of God is the person and the work of Jesus Christ. The Scriptures acts as a magnifying glass to reveal to us the Spirit of God that lives within us, that it might resonate with what God's placed within us, that we are called to be at peace with our Maker and to live holy and blameless lives.